I'm a clean freak. I'm a bit OCD. I like order and organisation. I'm a bit OCD. Perhaps you've heard this said before or have said this about yourself. Well, in today's video, I'm going to be breaking down the different types of obsessive compulsive disorder. And be sure to stay to the end of the video as I will be giving away a free gift that can transform your life. For the best tools and techniques to transform your mental health, be sure to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon below to be notified as I bring out new video content every Monday and Friday. Welcome back to another video. My name is Linda and I help people all around the world transform their mental health. So before we dive into today's video on the different types of OCD, we're going to just look at quickly what OCD is. So OCD, or known as Obsessive Compulsive Disorder, is an anxiety disorder. It involves obsessions and compulsions. Obsessions are recurrent images, thoughts and urges that cause a person severe distress. Compulsions are repetitive behaviours or mental acts that a person does in order to alleviate the anxiety. This behaviour actually creates temporary relief, but in fact it actually reinforces this compulsive behaviour. So that's a brief overview of what OCD is. If you would like a full in-depth video of what OCD is, please comment below, let me know and I would be happy to do a video. Also, please check out my previous video on what OCD feels like, my personal story, which is in the cards above, and I will also link it in the description box below. Okay, so let's dive into the types of OCD. So for me personally, I experienced obsessional intrusive thoughts of harm. And with these thoughts obviously comes severe anxiety. And generally we'll have a compulsion with these obsessional thoughts. The compulsion gives us temporary relief, but also keeps us in this loop of OCD. For me personally, I didn't initially have any compulsions, the physical compulsions that we might know of, but I did have mental compulsions. So that's where we might do something mentally, that there might be a mental ritual in order to alleviate the anxiety. For me, it was kind of analysing the thought, trying to dissect the thought, trying to go into it step by step, and that would initially give me some temporary relief. I then moved on to some physical compulsions that we might know of, which would be checking. For me, I started doing a lot of research online. So I'd have this really intense obsessional thought and I'd need to go online very, very quick in order to feel somewhat better. It did give me temporary relief, but again, it's keeping us in this loop of reinforcing these behaviours. I then moved on to looking for reassurance. So when we start looking for reassurance of somebody close to us to say that I'm experiencing these thoughts and I'm worried about them, and the person might say, it's okay, they're just thoughts, you won't act on them, that does give us some reassurance, and it did give me reassurance, but it's only temporary. It's only a temporary kind of relief, but it helps in the short term. But it does lead into us doing more and more of these compulsions because it reinforces this behaviour. Again, for more information on my own personal story of OCD, please be sure to check out my previous video. I will leave a link in the description box below for you to check out. So from working with a range of different clients, the various types of OCD they have experienced is, the first one I'm going to talk about is Contamination OCD. So a particular client had a very deep ingrained fear of getting a disease. So in other words, getting sick from this disease and also being responsible for her family members' well-being. So passing any germs or contamination onto her family members, and therefore they would get sick. So she would feel responsible for that. This involved her taking a lot of control around her own environment. So this involved her cleaning a lot, washing a lot. She would also be very anxious about people coming into her house, would clean a lot after they have left her house. She would find it very distressing to be around people, and if she was, she would then come home, wash her clothes, and potentially then would throw them out, so would never wear the same clothes again. There was a lot of cleaning, a lot of avoidance of situations, so she would try to avoid public social situations, avoid public toilets, avoid touching handles, maybe she would use her sleeve to touch handles. This caused her an awful lot of distress. This caused her to wash a lot, to be thinking about her environment. She felt safe in her environment, but she also felt like it was under threat when someone came in to visit her, and this would cause her a severe amount of distress. So the next one I'm going to move on to is checking OCD. So this is where the client spent hours every night before she went to bed to double check the locks on the door, to check the taps to make sure that they were turned off, and to check the cooker. This was done in a specific manner, in a specific pattern, and it wasn't just checking it once, it was checking it a number of times. So the person had obviously a thought, an ingrained fear, and this caused anxiety, and they had to keep checking these particular gadgets to make sure, to give themselves reassurance that it was okay. Obviously this creates more of the loop of these behaviours, because when they feel anxious they'll check it, but some days they can feel anxious more than others, and it will involve them doing it more and more times. It causes the person a lot of distress, because when they feel enough is enough, and that's when it'll lead into, maybe it started off doing it 10 times and that's their specific number, and then it'll lead into 20 times, and it gets more and more progressively worse. So the next one we're going to move on to is OCD intrusive thoughts. As I talked about before, the intrusive thoughts I had was of harm of family members. They can range from various different degrees and various different severities, so no one fits all. They take various different themes. So there is harm OCD, so fear of doing harm to others. There is sexual OCD, fear of being sexually attracted to someone of the same sex or to a family member. There is religious OCD, so this is where a person will have various rituals around that they need to say prayers, fear of cursing towards their religious organisation that they follow. There is a very wide variety of intrusive thoughts that I've worked in and I've seen. So it's not about, we understand that it's not about the thought, it's actually the reaction to the thought, but it's the thought that gives the person the deep instilled fear and distress. So if you would like more information on my clients' huge transformational stories of recovery, please check out my testimonial page. I will leave a link in the description box below that you can check out for your own interest. And also, as promised, I'm giving away free 20-minute consultations one-to-one with myself. I also leave the link below in the description box so you can check it out down there. And as usual, please subscribe to my channel, as I do bring out new content every Monday and Friday that can literally transform your life. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.